I'm Matt Bishar with NAREIT's REIT.com, here at the St. Regis Hotel for NAREIT's Washington Leadership Forum. Joining me today is Jay Leupp, Managing Director and Portfolio Manager with Lazard Asset Management. Jay, thanks so much for joining us.
Good to be here, Matt.
Now, how have the growing concerns about the Chinese economy affected your outlook on the global property markets?
Well, it's making a difference. As you know, we've been invested in China for over 8 years, and we are invested both on the mainland as well as in Hong Kong and Macau. And we've had some concerns about China for some time. We've tried to counter those concerns by really focusing our investments on the highest quality assets and the highest quality companies. We're primarily invested in companies that are based in Hong Kong or are traded on the Hong Kong exchange because we find that there's better transparency and disclosure, and overall we think better balance sheets. So we're monitoring that situation. We like the overall growth profile of China, but we do have some concerns about systematic financial risk, and we believe the best course of action is to stay invested, but really focus and be careful about where we're investing in China.
Now, shifting to here in the U.S., what are the stories you're watching particularly closely?
Well, there's always the specter of interest rates. We're always asked about interest rates. We're always constantly watching what we think are the effects on interest rates, not just the Fed, but central banks all over the world. So the specter of interest rates remains an ongoing topic, as well as the overall economic growth profile of the U.S. as well as globally. We're watching growth, we're watching employment, we're watching other indicators that we believe will drive future job and income growth, because we think it's important to focus on that side, the demand side of real estate assets. And of course, we're always watching supply as well. There's been some expansion of supply growth over the last 3 or 4 years as the economy has improved and as financing has become more widely available. So we're continuing to watch that as well.
Obviously, the Chinese economy, interest rates here in the U.S. are getting a lot of the headlines. But looking at the international property scene, are there any underpublicized stories that you're really watching?
There are always, we believe, pockets of opportunity when it comes to investing in publicly traded real estate worldwide. We like what we call emerging Asia, countries like the Philippines that have democratic government, very strong economic growth and demographic profile. It's a relatively young country with a lot of growth ahead of it. That's a country in particular that we like in Asia. We like the more stable European markets, and we're also invested in Latin America. Mexico in particular is a market that we continue to like. We're looking for bargains in Canada, where there's been some sell-off that's both been oil and commodity related. And as always, we continue to see very attractive opportunities in the United States.
Jay, thank you so much for joining us.
Matt, always a pleasure.
For more on this and other REIT news and analysis, be sure to visit REIT.com.